There we go. Your screen name is iPhone. What is your name, please? You've turned off your sound again. Please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. What is your name?
Hi. My name is Kimberly Ann Johnson.
Okay, your ticket is 25 R0 3106. You were ticketed for making a prohibited turn back on the 11th day of May about 9:20 in the morning at 13 Mile Road in Crooks. You can admit or deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
With an explanation.
You're admitting responsibility with an explanation?
Yeah, I don't agree to the ticket. That's what I want to say.
What does not agree to the ticket mean?
Well, I feel like I shouldn't have got wrote in the ticket, sir.
Are you responsible for the infraction for which you were cited?
No, sir.
Yeah, we'll call that a denial.
Okay, thank you.
Raise your right hands, please.
Sure.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
It is the truth, yes.
Will it be the truth?
Yes, sir.
The officer will testify first, please.
Your Honor, on May 11th at approximately 9:20 in the morning, I was sitting stationary on Windermere, which is just north of the intersection of Crooks and 13 Mile. I had a very clear view of the entire intersection. I watched as Miss Johnson, as she was traveling eastbound on Crooks, on 13 Mile, in her blue 2019 Jeep Compass. She came up to the intersection, and just prior to the intersection, she stopped under the no left turn sign, the left turn signal, which is blocked out. There's, as I testified prior, there's a no left turn sign at the beginning of the intersection. There's also a no left turn sign at the other side of the intersection, and she made the left turn. I stopped her at Lexington. I spoke with her. She stated she did not see the signs and she was following her GPS. I explained to her that, yes, the GPS would probably still direct her that way because it's not always updated on construction. However, you still have to be aware of your surroundings and look up, and if there's any signs posted for not making a left or a right or whatever it might be, you're supposed to follow those. I came back, I issued her a citation for the prohibited turn, and she was very upset that she received a ticket about it, and here we are.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson?
Yes, I did. I'm an Uber driver, and I had my passenger in my back seat. I didn't see no sign said no left turn. I proceeded over into the lane. I guess it's covered because it has construction, like he stated. I'm not familiar with that process, sir. I proceeded and turned, and then when he pulled up behind me and pulled me over, I asked him and said, "Oh, are you?" He asked me, "Do you know why I'm pulling you over?" I said, "No, sir." I said, "I don't know." And I looked at the gentleman in the back. I said, "I don't know why he's pulling me over." He was stated too. I don't know why he's pulling over. And he said, I had a no turn. I did not see no turn. I was following my GPS, and I did not know if when they covered the light thing, that don't mean you can't make a turn there either.
They had the lane blocked off too, but how long had you been driving on 13 Mile before you got to Crooks?
How long I've been driving on it before I got to Crooks?
Yeah.
From 11 Mile in Southfield.
So you drove past 2 miles worth of no left turn signs. But no left turn signs started at Woodward or Coolidge and went all the way to the east to 13 Mile Road. So it's not like you hadn't seen a series of no left turn signs. You passed scores of no left turn signs.
Well, I didn't see, I'm not familiar with that. I'm not even from that area. And like I
This is
stated,
at 9 o'clock in the morning. You probably passed 100 of them.
no, sir, I haven't passed
Yes,
100
ma'am.
of them. No, I haven't. I'm speaking the truth. I have not
No,
passed.
I'm
past
talking
100.
about at 9:20 on the 11th day of May, you passed scores of no left turn signs. You drove past them, which
That's
is
not
what
true,
you're supposed
sir.
to do. Ma'am, you just told me that you drove on 13 Mile Road from 11 Mile in Southfield.
Say from 11 miles to wherever the gentleman say I turned at, the
Okay.
officer.
No, you didn't. You can stay on 11 Mile and you will never hit 13 Mile, man. You made a left
Okay,
turn off of
let's
13 Mile.
let's make this clear. I'm
No, let's make
advising
this
you.
clear. Let's make this clear.
Okay.
I'm telling you that you passed scores of no left turn signs as you proceeded east on 13 Mile Road from Woodward Avenue to Crooks.
And wouldn't that come into play if I was turning on those different several things that you're speaking of? Maybe I would have noticed those turn signs. I'm advising you the truth that I didn't see the left no turn
Ma'am,
sign.
not seeing a sign is not a defense for violating this.
Well, I don't feel I violated the turn.
But your
That's
feelings
just my honest opinion.
Right there. There's no way, if you missed
in a
them.
civil infraction matter, man, we're
You
not.
let me just inform you, sir, the officer. You sitting there because you
Ma'am,
know that's
I'm
a
staring it
trap for
over.
people who does not travel in that area. You sitting there waiting for people to
You're
turn around
supposed
there
to
and
pay
make that
attention
mistake.
to your
Because,
surroundings and
excuse
pay
me,
attention
can
to
I please
signs
finish
that
talking,
are
sir?
posted. We're
No,
done.
no, sir. You sitting there right there.
You're correct. I was sitting there because everybody makes that turn. You're done. This is what I had to deal with on the road after she got a ticket.
Johnson, if you want to unmute yourself, we will be able to hear what you're saying.
I'm saying the officer, young sir, you're sitting in that parking lot
Ma'am,
because
it's not your turn to talk at this point.
okay.
You've testified as to what happened. I understand. You didn't think you were violating the law when you made the turn.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you don't feel that you need a ticket for making a mistake. But that's what a civil infraction is. It's a mistake. It's not a crime. There's no intent to do evil as a requisite element of a civil infraction. You made a mistake. The consequences of the mistake is a fine for $130. It needs to be
the
online
officer,
or by mail.
excuse me.
No, I'm not excusing you. It's still, I'm speaking. I'd ask you to stop interrupting me. The fine is $130, and that's the fine for the civil infraction for which you are responsible.
Well, Judge, you don't have to be rude. You know, you don't have to be rude and disrespectful.
Nor do you. Someone has come online with an iPhone.
I really liked you are not excused. Shut your hole. I continue to speak now.
Muted yourself and turned off your video. What is your name, please? iPhone, what is your name, please?
Samer Salah.
Beautiful.
Okay. Your tickets are 25 RO0 3118 and 3118A. One ticket is for using an electronic device while you're operating a car, and the other ticket is for operating on expired plates. The ticket was issued on the 11th day of May. When did you get the new plates or tabs?
Like I ordered it right away after that, like the next week. And I have a proof of it here. Wait, let me.
You're gonna need to turn on your camera so we can see what you want to show.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. Can you see? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, what I need to see is right under your hand.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Under.
Okay, can you read the very bottom line, the first 10 or 12 numbers?
Okay. 051120. Sorry.
Same day. Is there anything you want to add to this, officer, as to the expired plates ticket?
Yes, sir. I can dismiss that portion.
So that ticket, Mr. Slot, is dismissed.
Okay.
And that leaves the other one, which is the more serious of the two. And that is the citation for operating while using a mobile electronic device. You can admit or deny responsibility for that, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
I deny responsibility.
If you raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The officer will testify first, please.
Okay.
Sir, on the date and time printed on the ticket, I was behind Mr. Samer. We were northbound on 11 Mile. I could see him in the left lane. There was a left arrow, the green left arrow, and his vehicle did not proceed. I could see him on his phone from, I was behind to the right. I could see him on his phone. He did not go. And then at the end of this cycle for the green arrow, I believe somebody honked. I don't have it in my explanation. He stuck his hand out through his sunroof and he waved as if to say sorry that I didn't turn. And then when he did finally make his left-hand turn, that's when I got behind him and stopped him. So because of all of that, seeing him go through an entire light cycle, seeing the phone in his hand while he was operating the motor vehicle is why he was issued the citation.
Thank you. Mr. Salah?
Okay, so the reason I didn't drive through the light, which is what I explained to him, the car
You're not
has
cited for impeding, sir. You're
sorry.
not cited for impeding.
No,
What
I know,
talk
but
about is the phone in your hand.
okay, I don't. Well, he's saying that I didn't turn because I had the phone in my hand, and I'm explaining why I didn't turn. I didn't turn because the car has an automatic start-stop system, and when I went to to push the gas, the car didn't go forward, so I had to push the
Mr.
automatic.
Salah, we're not here about not going when
Okay.
you could have. We're here about the infraction you're accused of using an electronic device while you're operating a car.
I don't recall that. I would. Is there a dash cam or something that?
What don't you recall?
I don't recall being on the phone. What I recall was that what I was trying to explain to you. And I don't know how he would be able to see if I'm on the phone.
It's not, there's no evidentiary value to your statement what you don't know.
Yeah.
So that you don't know how an officer sees doesn't mean he doesn't see. It means you don't know something. That's not evidence.
Yeah, but he's basing his statement on the fact, if it's irrelevant that I didn't drive forward, why is that even in part of his testimony? He's
That's
saying I
what drew
didn't.
his attention to your car.
Is there? I would like to see. Is there a way that I could see a dash cam that shows that I was on the phone?
Sure, if you've got one.
When I called, they said I would have to take it to like a formal hearing in order to get the dash cam, in order to present that as evidence, because I can't show that to you. I mean,
You have not denied that you had the phone in your hand. Your testimony was you didn't recall.
okay, so then I deny it until shown proof. I would like to see proof of that.
Well, I understand that you might like to see proof, but you are not the trier of fact, sir. The court is the trier of fact. The officer's testimony is uncontroverted. You were using the phone. You haven't said otherwise. You said you don't know. You don't recall. You are responsible as cited. The fine is $220. It needs to be paid. It can be paid online or by mail or at the courthouse counter.
So I'm not allowed to have a formal hearing for this?
You just had your hearing.
I thought this is an informal hearing where
I can't help what you think, sir, but the bottom line is this hearing is over. You owe the money. It needs to be paid. I told you how to do it.
Can you repeat how to do it? Sorry.
Pay it online, by mail, or at the counter.
I'm not your attorney. You lose. Now run along. All right. All right. That was all Alyssa's fault with a big assist from Brecken. This is James's fault with a big assist from Law Nerds Unite. Let's do it.
Gary Lasky versus Megan McKnight, case 25-28340. And you are Gary Lasky,
Yes, sir.
and you are Megan McKnight.
Yes, sir.
Each raise your right hands. Do you each solemnly swear, affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, shall be God?
I do.
I do, Your Honor.
All right, and neither of you I see have attorneys. And Mr. Lasky, you filed this is a termination of tenancy, giving 30-day notice. Have you resolved this between yourselves?
No.
All right, and what's the reason for terminating the tenancy?
We are no longer in a relationship, sir.
What was that again?
We are no longer in a relationship together.
Did you have a lease between yourselves?
No.
And Ms. McKnight, why shouldn't you be ordered to vacate the property?
I still have bills in my name there. I mean, we raised our children in that home. I'm not exactly sure what to say there, you know. I would be willing, I'm willing to go. I need some time.
Well,
If
under
I
the,
may-
yeah,
If
go
I may,
ahead.
Your Honor. She's had more than plenty of time to leave. We at first had an agreement that she would pay me rent. That was over 7 or 8 months ago. She's barely given me any kind of financial or any kind of help around the house since then. She's had way more than enough time to leave. And she definitely has help in other ways to get out of here. I don't know why she's procrastinating,
That's
but
not true. I actually have no one but myself.
Well, Ms. McKnight, I have to give 10 days notice, would make it August 4th. Are you, Mr. Lasky, agreeing to extend it somewhat past August 4th by any chance?
I would rather not. I would rather be an immediate if you can, sir.
I just
I have to
need a
give
little
10
time
days,
to
I
get my
can't-
stuff out of there.
All right. Thank you. Listening to the testimony, proper notice having been provided by the plaintiff to Ms. McKnight, the court is going to grant a judgment in favor of the plaintiff versus McKnight for possession only. A writ or order of eviction can be issued anytime after August 4th if one is applied for. The court will prepare the judgment since neither of you are attorneys to mail out. And you each have a good day.
Does that mean that she has until August 4th, sir?
Yes, sir. I have to grant 10 days at least.
Okay.
And then what happens on the 4th, Your Honor?
If you don't vacate by August 4th, then Mr. Lasky can come into court, fill out the paperwork, pay a fee, then the court would sign what's known as an order of eviction. That order of eviction is then given to another court officer, and they will come out and indicate that you have to leave the premises. I can't speak for the court officer, but sometimes they'll give you a couple days. And if you don't vacate, if you don't leave voluntarily, then they'll put your items out on the street, on the
Okay,
curb.
thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, each have a good day.
You as well.
This is the matter of Granite Wellington Estates LLC versus Robert Delaney, 25-29140.
Well, good afternoon, Your Honor. May it please the court, Jarrett Levine for the plaintiff. And with me is Stephanie Wood, representative for the landlord.
Mr. Levine, good afternoon. You were Robert Delaney?
Yes.
I can't see you, Mr. Delaney.
He's on a phone, so
No,
he won't have it.
I was told this was by Zoom. The officer of the court set me up here on the telephone to conduct this by Zoom.
Okay. Raise your right hand, Mr. Delaney.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear, affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right. This is filed as a termination of tenancy. And have you resolved this with the defendant, Mr. Levine?
No, we are at an impasse. We're seeking to terminate the tenancy pursuant to MCL 600-5714E. And this arises from harassing and threatening physical violence toward management and maintenance staff. This was reported to the police. It necessitated police involvement. And unless Mr. Delaney is willing to agree to vacate the property on or before August 8th in the form of a possession judgment, I don't see any potential resolution in this case.
All right, Mr. Delaney, do you agree to vacate the property by August 8th?
August 4th. I'm sorry, August 4th.
Well, Your Honor, I'm actually here to request an adjournment today of 14 days, and I have good cause to explain why.
What's the good cause to adjourn it?
Okay, Your Honor. So I was offered, I was served a notice on the 6th and around there that I had until in June notice to quit, and that I could seek. I should seek another place to live by the 15th. If not, that management may proceed to take me to court, right? So that time came and left and nothing had occurred. Now, I've been seeking to leave Wellington Estates since February when I was threatened by management in several different ways. And, but anyways, come July here, they extended me another month's lease with a legal fee for having served me. So I kind of maybe assumed that they were not going to proceed ahead because I have a spotless tenancy there. There's been no lates, no miss, no violations of any kind. So I assumed, so I paid it, and I paid the legal fee, feeling like that was the best thing. Meanwhile, I was continuing to look, but then a couple weeks into July, I get the notice they're going to proceed. So I immediately started to call Lakeshore Legal Aid to see if I could get some representation. I would qualify due to my age and due to my financial situation. And as well as I have very, very good cause to dispute this and to actually, mount a countersuit for claims and damages of my own. But the problem was at Lakeshore Legal Aid, I could not get through till last Wednesday. I was able to get through to the office, at which time they informed me they were too busy to do an intake on me at that day and time to call back the next day, so I did, and I still couldn't get through, and Friday I couldn't. Saturday I was at the library here in Taylor, and I ran across a girl just by happenstance that has an eviction proceeding. There she is represented by Lakeshore Legal Aid, and she gave me the name of her attorney as a direct number. So I called that and explained the situation to her, and Monday came, I hadn't heard from her. And so yesterday I actually drove over there and I walked into their office and it was completely empty except for the intake person sitting there. And I told them the situation. They said they had me fill out the paperwork. At that time, one of their attorneys came in. They said, look, it was 2:15. They said, if you can go home, get your paperwork, come back in, an attorney can see you at 3:00 this afternoon. So I did that. So I spoke with a Melissa Kleeman at Lakeshore Legal Aid, and she advised me to ask you for a 14-day adjournment today due to the fact that we're in the midst of getting an attorney. They have over there like their requirements, you know, of whether or not they can represent you. One being your age, which I qualify, one being your income, I qualify, and one being, well, how crowded their docket is, whether or not they will have time to represent you or not, and whether they will take you on therefore then as a full client, maybe a partial client, or maybe they would just even verbally give you advice. So that decision should be made at least sometime by the start to mid of next week. And so therefore, that's why I'm asking for the adjournment. That's what they have advised me to do. So that's initially where I'm starting at here today, Your Honor.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. I'd have to oppose any adjournment. This is an eviction for violence that happened on the property involving individuals, one of whom is present and would testify. Her testimony would show that she is in fear for well-being at the property, that a threat of physical violence was made in harassing manner was reported to the police. Your Honor, that meets the threshold for MCL 600-5714E. Our request would be for the possession judgment today. It's also been my experience that if Lakeshore Legal Aid is going to get involved in a case, they know it's one of our cases, they'll reach out to me and I'll hear from them at some point, and which would involve you know, an appearance and some emails. And I have not received, I searched my emails, I have not received any correspondence on this particular file. And this isn't just your typical non-payment case where it's, you know, a couple months rent. This is pretty severe allegations where the manager and maintenance are both feel threatened in their place of employment, and it followed Michigan law to terminate the tenancy. So our request would be that this hearing proceeds and that we obtain and our request for a judgment be granted.
All right, first of all, the court finds that there's no good cause to adjourn the case. And the alleged victim here is it Stephanie Wood?
No,
She's
she is not, Your Honor.
Who's the person that was threatened?
Well, Your Honor, that's just it.
Hold on.
Am I allowed to speak, Your Honor, or?
Just 1 second, Mr. Levine, who was the person that was threatened?
Maintenance, and we also have, well, we have Stephanie here so we can hear from her, but it was a maintenance employee who was actually threatened. And Stephanie, were you present during this?
I was not. I actually spoke to Mr. Delaney on the phone that day, and I was threatened by phone, but not in person. Mr. Delaney actually, made me very fearful that day. But
Ms. Wood, let me stop you. Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear, affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, shall be on?
yes.
And you started to say you were threatened by the defendant over the phone?
Yes, he was screaming at me.
What did he tell you?
He was screaming at me and calling me names on the phone, asking my age and where I lived. And then, you know, there was a lot of harassing behavior of driving by and honking the horn and flipping us off and calling and hanging up and texting, and it was repeatedly. And he also threatened physical violence to my maintenance man when he had gone over. We were sending him a write-up, and he was going to place it on the door. And there's a police report. The police had to come out. He threatened physical violence to my maintenance man, followed him out to the truck, tried to get in through the window. It was a very volatile day, and we actually locked our office for several days after that because of this incident with him. And it didn't, even after we served him with a cease and desist, he did not stop. He texted and called and drove by and beat the horn and flipped us off. And it was stressful. It still is stressful.
All right, thank you very much. Court finds by the preponderance of evidence The plaintiff has met their burden of proof by the preponderance of evidence. I am going to grant the order of eviction based upon
And
the
Your Honor,
facts.
and I request today then that my right to a jury trial, I will have that. You have been lied to repeatedly by these people. I have done none of that. I have to have a right to my day in court, then I request a jury trial from that point.
Can I respond to that?
There's not been, you know, the report hasn't been brought in. It was an incident between me and the maintenance man. This girl, this lady, who they can't keep management at this place over here. 4 years ago, they said they're going to get more efficient, and all that meant was they're going to keep bringing in people. They don't want to maintain my place. Back in February.
Judge, I'm going to prove to you that I don't abuse this woman by abusing her in front of you. Let's see how this goes.
This lady told me, I got out of my car, a piece of paper blew out of my door. She came running out the door screaming at me like a mad lady, right? About this trash and stuff. I go in there because I had a raccoon problem at the time, which has necessitated all. Long story short, 5 raccoons were living under my trailer in the insulation under the floor for over 4 months. They were not setting traps. They were not baiting traps. These things were making a severe smell and nuisance like a zoo over there. I was afraid they were going to be coming in on midnight. They couldn't be bothered to get these animals out of there. They weren't setting traps. They weren't baiting traps. They had traps that would not work. One trap, right? They would unbait them on Friday evening if they had baited them, remove the trap until Monday morning, right? So there's 3 days these things are living under there because, oh, we don't want to harm a little critter might be in there overnight or something. Well, I know these critters do not have a lease with Wellington Estates. I do, right? And they should maintain. They told me to go get my own traps and put under there. I said, are you going to reimburse me? No. So February, when they've moved the trap, now I don't know where, because they'd put them at holes where they weren't coming out or they were coming in and out, you know. I said, where did they set the trap? I was going in there to ask this. Could you ask the maintenance man to get back with me? No. I go in there to find out if they had answered, and she goes, you know, Robert, after this trash thing happens now, she screamed at me, I've been thinking about you. You've been month to month here for 11 and a half years. I've been there for 12 and a half years. Nothing in my history indicates that I do this type of stuff at all, right? So, you know, I've been thinking, here's the thing. You're either going to buy that trailer, she tells me this, you're going to buy that trailer for the cost of the title transfer, $90, or you're going to sign a 1 year's lease. And if you don't, I'm going to just 60-day you. Now I'm 59 years old. And I said, that's not your business to go and figure out what I'm doing. You've got a month-to-month lease. That's what I'm on. I pay $150 for this, right? But she's talking to me all hostile and stuff, come running out there like a mad lady. That's when I started looking. So they're not baiting traps. They're not putting them where they need to be. They're not even, if the trap is closed, people don't come around for a week to even open it back up. They want me to buy the food to even put in there to catch the critter. No, that comes out of my rent, right? So after a while, you know, they tell me, well, you go buy your own trap. And we're on top of this. I said, no, you're not. And I said, you're going to reimburse me for the trap? Nope. Just like the blinds over there. They're almost in perfect shape. I've been there trying to, but they would like them replaced. I can pay for that. I don't own those blinds, right? So here's the thing, right? So 4 months goes by and I'm telling them, I got this wicked smell coming out of rooms. I'm closing doors and putting towels and stuff under the crack in the bottom because it stinks so bad. My clothes stink. My couch stinks. My furniture stinks because of this stuff. They come over, oh no, we don't smell anything. We don't smell anything. Couple times, right? And she demands that they come at certain times, right? And then they claim, well, there's been a smell coming from the pond behind you. So then maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the smell coming from the pond doing this. No, it's not. No, it's not. Right? So this goes on and on and on. And so Labor Day comes up now. So we're all the way from February all the way into Memorial Day and into June. And they go, yeah, we're going to unbait these traps for 4 days. You know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You can have 4 days and 5 nights. And my experience is after any weekend, well, they surely don't remember to come back until at least Wednesday. So it's maybe set and baited Wednesday. if a critter bumps into it, goes off, and Thursday is not baited or set, and Friday they're going to remove the thing. So maybe one day out of a week, and I've taken pictures of all this stuff, days in a row, that got timestamps on it. These things not baited, not set. But one time, here's another thing. So I move the trap. I move it to an area where I hear these critters come from. She calls me up and blows up on me immediately again. How dare you touch our traps? You shall not touch our traps.
Judge, I
There's
think I have to
no
object at this point because
law
he's
in the
starting to
league
offer some
that- okay,
hearsay
there's
and
no law in the
he's also
league that says
disparaging my
that
client.
that I can't touch the traps, Your Honor. None at all. So, but she puts on the billboards at both entrances of the park, do not touch our traps. Oh, anybody in here. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Late Memorial Day comes up. I think I'm not going another 5 days with this stuff, not even set, right? Why should I? Why should I? I have a right then, because my right then, if they're not doing the things about it, that I can take over and do and take care of what they are not doing on their end and making smells and these things I could wake up in the middle of the night, I hear them scratching and clawing. I could wake up in the middle of the night with one of these things in my face, right? Get rabies and stuff, right? It's a health hazard. So, but hey, who cares, right? Let's be kind to animals. So I decide it's not going to happen. I'm going to bait
No, I
the
don't
thing.
care.
And I caught one. I cleaned it up because I called a critter company. They said a raccoon will not go if it smells any other kind of smell at all. So I cleaned the whole thing up, top to bottom, baited it so it couldn't stick its arm in there and grab the food out, which I would watch the thing do when they would bother to put some dog food in there, like little hard bits, right? So it couldn't reach in there and pull it out. Boom, right away I catch a little one. Okay, right after that, boom, 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 they caught 4 more on their own. They caught a large male, a large female, a juvenile, and 2 little ones, one that they caught, one that I caught. So I had some maintenance that I needed to go on there, right? So that we're into June now, right? So I call the guy and he comes over and he lies to me about the second thing I had him do. It was a gutter that kept falling off of the roof, right? And he tells me while he's inside fixing this thing with just some cast off spare junk, right? Because they will not spend even $5 of my $12.50 a month on anything to maintain this place. They're gonna put cardboard, some kind of used thing they scavenged off of some other trailer to fix my stuff or lie to you. So he's telling me, oh yeah, I put the screws in there already. Yeah, we did that a couple weeks ago. We fixed your gutter we screwed them on there real tight. I know we didn't because 3 days earlier when I was cutting the grass, the thing was on the ground again and I had to pick it up, right? So he goes, okay, I gotta go get something, I'll come back. So while he's gone, I go and I look at the gutter. There ain't been no screws put in there. There ain't been nothing put in there. He hasn't fixed nothing. Comes back, I let him do his repair inside. And I say, oh yeah, by the way, Ethan, you didn't screws in those things out there. Oh, really? I could have swore I saw screws in there. I could have swore I did, right? Well, you could see daylight. You can see the holes. So if you looked up there when I did, I saw daylight. You know there's no screws in there. So he didn't. I could have swore I saw screws. He didn't. So he went and he got with the screws. Well, when we was doing all this, I told him that I had baited that trap, and I never should have, right? And I caught a little baby, and I was asking, where do you guys take them? You're supposed to take them a long way away so they don't come back and continue to be a nuisance, right? Oh, just across the street. Well, I took mine way to a park with food next to a stream, right? Well, he went and told Stephanie right away that I had touched that trap. She called me up screaming at me again like a little kid. At which time, after all
Mr. Delaney, what else do you have to say about, what else do you have to say other than about these varmints or animals? What else is pertaining to this
so
case?
this is what I'm at now. So she called me up yelling at me,
You're
and I
welcome.
said, please don't scream at me. I'm not a little kid. When you can talk to me, then you can. And I hung up the phone. And she's saying online, do you hear how he's talking to me? Do you hear how he's talking to me, right? So next thing I know, here's Ethan. He's putting some papers under my door right away. And come to find out, it's a violation. And they got a paper there for every violation in the lease that you could have violated. None of those were checked, Your Honor. Just an other section. She checked others. And she wrote in there, Oh, I touched the traps. There's nowhere in my lease that says I can't touch their trap. And oh, I spoke to them verbally abusively, right? So I'm thinking it's an eviction already. But it was already like, she had verbally told me on the phone, or, don't touch our traps. I should have been my first one. This was a second and last final warning, right? I didn't even get my due justice here. So when he comes over, I said, did you tell Stephanie I did this? He said, yeah. I said, I did you a favor, right? By getting rid of this thing. I actually did you guys a favor, and you guys are screaming at me about this stuff, right? Yeah, I tell her everything. And things started to get heated. I had an argument with him. He had an argument with me. He went over to the office. I got ready to go keep looking for places to go move. Next thing I know, the police are in my driveway. I'm coming up. They come up. They said, what went on? I told them. They said, that's fine, Mr. Delaney. Don't worry. They went on their way. So now I actually have to do business with them, right? I'm in a lease agreement. I have a business agreement with these people. You can't prevent me from paying my lease. So I called up and asked the assistant manager or the office girl, if I could have my complete rental history. She said, sure, no problem, right? Sure, no problem.
Your Honor, if I may interject, I think we're offering
I could have called from Stephanie saying, you can't call here. You can't do nothing here. You cannot do anything here. Yes, and he wrote me a cease and desist letter and made it seem like it's a demand. I'm sorry, there's no legal significance. That's a request, sir, and you know it.
Mr. Delaney, I've heard your argument. The court finds by the preponderance of evidence that the plaintiff
Your
has
Honor,
met
I
its
would be willing to work out an agreement with them.
burden of proof, and I am going to grant a judgment for possession. Proper notice was given. Court finds under the statute as cited by Mr. Levine that based upon these threats and the testimony here of Miss Wood, that the burden has been met and the court is granting a judgment of possession.
Your Honor, that's what I request.
A writ of order of eviction will be issued anytime after August 4th. And if you have a countersuit against, if you have some reason to sue the landlord, then you can sue him.
Absolutely.
Mr. Levine, submit your paperwork to the court for signing, and you have a good day, each of you.
Thanks, Judge. I'll submit the order.
You
Have a nice
tell
rest of
me
your day.
exactly
Good
what
luck,
the
Mr. Delaney. Wish
stipulations
you
are
well.
again. Could you
Thanks,
tell me,
Stephanie.
Your Honor? And I would like to know, I would like an explanation of why I cannot request my jury trial right now today. This is the time and the date to do it. If you're not requesting the adjournment, then I request the jury trial.
I made my ruling.
Well, then what is your ruling then? Again, repeat it, please, sir.
You lose. Get out.
You have to vacate by August 4th. You've
August
lost the right
4th.
to possession of the property.
All right, now, August 4th takes me into like 4 days into a rental period. What should I do about that?
I don't give legal advice.
Huh?
Check with an attorney. I don't give legal advice.
Oh, you don't? You're a judge and you don't give legal advice, huh? But
Right.
you make judgments on people so that you don't know what I'm to do now, right? I've gotten to August 4th, or what happened?
You don't vacate by August 4th. If the plaintiff files the paperwork and pays a fee, a court officer will be out to evict you.
When will court officer be out to do that?
Let's shut him up, yeah.
Oh, that was pure fun. That whole stream. I loved it. I don't remember having this judge on. I may have before, but I thought he was excellent. Even sitting there letting the guy burn out. That was appropriate. He had his ruling. Long before that, but he let the guy say his piece and then just said, "Nope, you lose. You got to go," which was the right ruling. Didn't get into it with him. He was top notch. That was fun. All right. Thanks for coming out. I'm gonna stop streaming. I'm giving myself the hook. It's just lots of good stuff today. See y'all soon.